everyone, it's Shauna from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Black Lightning Season 2, Episode 1, The Book of Consequences, Chapter 1, The Rise of the Green Light Babies. Lord, that was a lot to say for a title, but I guess I'm going to have to get it together this season. So, first and foremost, I miss y'all. I miss y'all so much. I miss y'all so much. My Black Light family, we back, y'all. We back up in here. So, first and foremost, what I gotta say is my asthma is acting up. My throat, it just won't let me be great. So, I can't talk loud for some reason. Like, I'm really trying to scream. Like, I'm really trying to talk loud. I got it a little bit, but I don't think I can talk like that the whole time. So, bear with me with my voice. I apologize. I hope that my lungs, my throat, my mouth get it together by next week, but just bear with me, okay? So, let's get into it. So the season opens up. We basically see that there's like a news headline going on, and we see that the police have been tracking down and trying to hunt all of the people who were affected by the green light, which is the drug that they were taking, which basically turned them into metas. And so we're introduced to Issa Williams, who was basically apprehended by the police, and he was basically choked and murdered. So this is kind of in relation to, Eric Gardner, who we saw, he was being apprehended by the police, and he was basically saying he can't breathe, and he actually ended up dying. So I was like, dang, y'all just gonna get right to it? Y'all just gonna go ahead and just show us, just let us know, like, hey, if you thought we was woke last season, we even more woke this season, and I was here for it. Then we got the pastor sitting up here telling, like, I'm tired of them killing our kids. They hunt our kids, tracking our kids down. The government trying to take them down, the police trying to take them down, and they're trying to basically kill us. And I was like, okay, pastor, you had a word for us today, and I was here. Praise the Lord's sakes, amen. Just keep speaking the truth, okay? So, ooh, my throat. So we see that Jefferson is basically, in a battle with the school board. And so basically they want to close down Jefferson High. They want to ensure that the kids are going to be safe, and they're kind of blaming him because, like, you disappeared when all of this stuff was happening at the school. Where were you? You were not doing your duties. And so basically, he has that hanging over him. And so Lynne is also being interrogated as to what happened with the pods. So we saw at the end of the season one finale, we see that they discovered this room of pods where it actually had the children that Gamby had scouted back when he was working for the ASA. And so this guy's trying to figure out what was going on. He all rude and nasty, and then he interrupted Lynne, and she was like, what you not gonna do? What you're not going to do? You're not gonna interrupt me. You're gonna give me my respect so I can tell you what is going on, because while you sitting up here worried about these pies, we need to be trying to figure out what are the effects of green light, and I'm the only one who's been able to study it to know what is going on, okay? And I was like, Lynne, get him together, let him know who he talking to and who he not gonna disrespect. So he was basically like, I know you're lying. You've been sitting up here lying to me for an hour and a half. And since you want to keep lying to me, you're not allowed to have anything to do with the pods. You can't continue your research until you decide you're going to tell me the truth. And so basically, Lynne is telling Jefferson, kind of venting to him, like, this is what they're trying to do. They don't care about trying to figure out what's going on with these kids. And he's like, well, I agree. You shouldn't be doing that. And she was like, did I ask you? Did I ask you to tell me what I can and cannot do? I said, ooh, Lynne is on one. She is here to let them know you don't try to tell me what I'm going to do with my life, okay? And so she feels like this is the only way that she can help. Jefferson and the kids, they have their powers, but she has her knowledge, she has her research, and she wants to figure out what is going on with the green light, how it affects these children, so she can actually help change their lives. And so we see that it cuts to Jennifer, who is basically, Jennifer is having issues with her powers. And so she wakes up and she sees that Anissa is basically watching her sleep. And she's like, girl, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching you. And then she was like, what's wrong? And she shows her a picture that Jennifer was actually levitating. She was like levitating while she's sleeping. She's like, can you please not tell my parents? Because they ain't going to let me out the house. And she was like, it's too late. I already told them. And she was just like, dang, really? And so we see it cuts to Kara, Prince, the Vice Principal Tramp, whatever. I still don't like her. So we see that she's putting a briefcase into the car. And we see the cyanide, she put a briefcase in the car. And so cyanide comes like, hey, Tobias wants to talk to you about the briefcase. She's like, no, not today. And so then they start fighting. They start shooting each other. And then we see that Kara, she decides that she's going to take her shoes off. And I was like, yeah, girl, because who trying to fight in these heels? I mean, you was looking fabulous in your jumpsuit, but who trying to do all of this in some heels? Who are you trying to impress, okay? You ain't got to prove nothing to us. We know you a badass, but I still don't like your ass. So we see that she take her shoes off. I was like, okay, girl, that's the best decision you done made all episode. So she take it off, and then some spikes come out, and I was like, ooh, now I know they said that shoes are dangerous, but damn, these some dangerous stilettos. And so her side eye going after it, and then she ended up chucking her heel, and then it hit side eye, then side eye dies. But I was like, can side eye die? Because I thought she was like a robot. I don't know if we ever figured out what she actually was, but yeah, she did. So we see that Kara actually goes to Gamby. She tells Gamby, like, hey, I know you were a scout back in the day. I was a scout now. I need your help. And he's like, basically, I need you to go get the briefcase and I'll help you. So yeah, so we're going to get back to her towards the end because, you know, things weren't looking too good for her at the end of the episode with Tobias. So, Lynne and Jefferson are having an argument, basically trying to figure out what are they going to do about Jennifer. What are they going to do about the kids? Jennifer is basically like, she wants to live in denial about her powers, about everything that happened. And Lynne's trying to have a conversation with her. And basically, like, Jennifer's just like, leave me alone. And then Lynne's like, who you talking to? And then Lynne tried to grab her when she walking away. And then she turned around and she zapped the hell out of her mama. I said, ooh, you gonna die today, girl? You didn't zap your mama. That's like snatching a belt. And actually, I did snatch a belt one time. And you know, I have to say, thank you, Lord, I'm here today. But it almost didn't end too well for me. And so I felt shook when she zapped her damn mama. She burned her mama. She was looking down, and her mama looked at her like, you just zapped me. And then, you know, she tried to go like, I'm sorry. And then her mom back away. Jennifer go crying. Her mom comes back and tells like, hey, we're going to figure this out no matter what it takes. So I was like, okay, that's cute, y'all. That's cute. But can we talk about this conversation with Jefferson? And I didn't catch Robert Townsend's character, but I was like, first of all, shout out to Robert Townsend. He was one of the first black superheroes in Meteor Man. So shout out. I like them just recognizing who paved the way. And so we see that they're having a conversation. And Lord, Jefferson got called Negro a lot of times this episode. Like, I know it's about consequences, but they should have called it the book of calling somebody Negro because they were just going in on him. And so they're having this back and forth where Jefferson is just like, hey, I got this under control. And he's just like, look, you don't have this under control. Like, you don't have the best interest for the students. You're thinking about yourself instead of thinking about the school. And he was like, you know better than anybody that these people been trying to close the school. They don't care about these kids with this white school board. And he was like, don't you think I know? I've been sitting up here trying to black explain everything. And then he was like, it sounded like you, basically he was calling him a house Negro without calling him a house Negro. He was like, Negro, please, you bet not. So I was just like, this too much, y'all. This is too much of a heated debate. But we're going to get back into what ends up happening with Jefferson as the school board makes a decision about what they're going to do. So now we come back to the church where basically the government tells them, hey, we're not going to give your family members back because they belong to the government. They're the property of the government. People are like, how are you just going to take our family and treat them as property? They're human beings. You kidnapped them. You injected them with this green light or whatnot. Like, how dare you? And so basically they say, hey, we have to sue the government to basically get our people back. And he tells them it's going to cost $500,000. I said, Pastor, who the hell got $500,000? I can't even tithe every week, and you want me to spend $500,000 to pay these legal fees to the government? I just don't understand. And so Anissa and her dad tells her, like, hey, let the system play this out. And she was just like, no, like, we can't do that because the system fails us each time. And you know, if it was me or Jennifer, that you wouldn't be saying that right now. And she was like, look, we got to catch the bias and all these people who were a part of this. And she was like, no, we need to make sure that we're taking care of these families. So then Anissa, Lord help her, this girl go and she dressed like a ninja. Okay, she was dressed like a ninja. She go to basically rob these drug dealers and she beat their ass. She got her money. But I was just like, girl, this not gonna end well. I feel like this gonna come back. Like, they didn't trace the money. Like, did you wash the money first? Like, I just feel like that was just way too easy for her to go and do that. And so we see when she tried to get the money to the church, he's sitting up here preaching, and all of a sudden the pastor pull out a gun. Everybody in the congregation pull out a gun. I said, Lord, we bring guns up in the house of the Lord now. That's what we're doing. Pastor, you packing? Okay, you packing with prayer and Jesus, and then you packing guns up in church? Is that deep now? I guess they said the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. Okay, he said I'm gonna have my shield, my armor, my gun, okay, and my Bible. So so we see she dropped the stuff off. She's like, look, y'all, you ain't gotta be doing all of that. Here your money, put your guns away, pull up out your Bibles again, and just do what y'all gotta do. So I'm trying to think what else. So Gamby ends up telling Jefferson, hey, Tramp Kara, you know, sorry, I keep calling her a tramp, but you know, I feel about her. Basically, she was the scout, and then Jefferson looked like he saw a ghost. He all shook, like, oh my God. And so Basically, we see that Kara goes to try to get the briefcase from Tobias. Tobias been waiting on her. He basically said, like, you killed my girl Sinai. I raised her since she was a little kid. And then she coming in with the guns. He shoot her. She like, oh, oh, oh. And then basically she gets out. She escapes. She like run away. He don't get to kill her yet. But in the meantime, Lynne tells Jefferson, let me tell you how this is going to go down. I didn't talk to Gamby. Gamby didn't work it out for me. I'm going to be over the pods, okay? And then she had to let that little investigator guy know, hey, I know people too, okay? He was like, I don't care who you know. I'm going to figure out what you're lying about, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. So in the meantime, Jennifer's still struggling. So she's talking to her friend. Her friend's sitting up there doing her hair. And then we see that Khalil's been trying to contact her. And he leaves a message saying like, hey, you were right about everything. And then as they're talking to, we see that as they're carrying Issa's body out, the government's taking his body. And the mama like, Lord, they're not going to let me bury my baby. And then all of a sudden the back start moving. I'm shook. They shook. The guard shook. And then he pop out like, hey, mama. And she's like, you not my baby. I was happy you died. I ain't have to worry about you being on these streets and gang banging. I was like, girl, do you know what you're saying right now? And then he was looking at her like, dang, mama, like, that's what you got to say about me? And then they tell him to run. So he run off. And then Jennifer's friend basically tell her like, hey, these people are crazy. I don't want nothing to do with these little people. And then basically Jennifer starts glowing. She goes into the bathroom. She tells her friend to leave. Only Jefferson can come and basically suck up all the energy that she's exerting because she's literally glowing in the bathtub. And basically, you know, he just takes care of it. He helps her. And then they just got to figure out what they're going to do with Jennifer and her powers, because we see at the end of the episode, she's still levitating in her sleep. And so we got to figure out I guess we're going to watch her journey to first accepting that she has powers and then learning how to control her powers as well. So we also see that Jefferson decides to step down when he's told that they're going to close the school. And so he decides to put the well-being of the students before him and say, hey, I'm going to step down. I'm going to take all the blame. And then you guys can basically do what you have to do to make sure you save the school. Now, another big thing that happened during the episode is Henderson found out who he was. And so he calls Jefferson up, or Black Lightning, and he was like, fool. Actually, no, he called him Negro and basically said, I know who you were. He seems that he's hurt. He even talks to Lynne, and Lynne is like, you know, you need to talk to somebody. Like, I know we talked about Jennifer getting a therapist, but you need to talk to someone as well, because he just fears like being Black Lightning, people knowing who he is, it puts them in danger, or he loses friendships and relationships. And so I think it was a lot that happened, y'all. I enjoyed this first episode. I missed y'all. I miss Black Lightning. I can't wait to see what's going to happen this season. But those are my thoughts on season 2, episode 1, the Book of Consequences. And boy, was there a lot of consequences. The rise of the green light babies. As always, my name is Sharna from Pay or Wait. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will see you soon.